There is an old story about a poor rabbi named Isaac. He lived with his wife and children in an aging tenement building in Poland and served a struggling congregation, always in need of help. The rabbi was devout, though would never let his poverty get in the way of his faith, even though he wished he wasn't always struggling with rent or taking care of his family. One night, the rabbi had an incredibly vivid dream. In it, he saw a huge chest of gold hidden beneath a bridge all the way off in the city of Prague. It was hidden behind some tall grasses and underbrush, but inside he just knew there was treasure. Now, at first, the rabbi hesitated to think too much about this dream. He didn't believe in visions and had never had one before. But then a few weeks later, he had a second dream, just like the first, but even more vivid and intense. And then he had it a third time. And so he thought maybe, just maybe, there was some truth to these visions he was having. And so after talking to his wife, he packed a bag of food with supplies, said goodbye to his family and his congregation, and set off to Prague to find the bridge and see what was there. After several weeks of walking, he arrived. It took him a few more days to find the bridge, but when he did, to his dismay, he found that it was guarded 24/7. There was no way to look for the treasure without being noticed. But not wanting to waste his journey, he hovered around the spot for several days, hoping for an opportunity to sneak by, steal a glance, to see if his dreams were true. Eventually, one of the guards noticed his odd lingering about. The rabbi did not look like a troublemaker, so the guard approached him in a friendly way and asked him what he was looking for and whether he needed help. The rabbi hesitated at first. He didn't want to say what he was doing because he worried that the guard would laugh at him or think he was crazy. Worse, he worried that he would have revealed that the treasure was there and the guard would steal it for himself. But something in the rabbi told him he should be honest. And so he shared with the guard his dreams and his visions and about the treasure that he thought might be there. The guard laughed. "You poor guy," he said. "You came all this way for a dream? Who can trust a dream? Why, I had a dream once. And that dream told me to walk all the way to Poland, and that there in the home of some rabbi named Isaac, I would find treasure, right under his stove, of all places. Could you imagine what a joke that would be? Imagine me believing that." The rabbi heard this story. He thanked the guard and returned home. And the first thing he did when he got home was to look under that stove. And there it was, the treasure he had been looking for all along, the answer to his dreams. And we here at Fourth Universalist, we are also dreamers. We understand the power that comes with having high hopes and thinking big. So today we kick off 2 campaigns that have emerged from years of dreaming. Like with the rabbi, our dreams are not extravagant. They are not selfish dreams, but the kind that come from hope and yearning and a sense of the beauty of what could be if our dreams are true. So today we invite you to dream with us. And we're fortunate that we've been dreaming for a while, and our journey has not just begun. We are here today knowing that our congregation is strong. We have lived out our values time and again, taking stands for human justice and dignity through works of sanctuary and artivist, voter registration, and fighting mass incarceration. Already we've begun efforts to combat racism and white supremacy, confronted structures of inequality both here and the larger world. And even within our own walls, we've expanded that essential work of the Spirit, growing deeper in love and connection and community, expanding our ministry to children, hiring new staff, seeing our Sunday attendance double, and our membership grow to levels that we have not seen since the Second World War. So we come to you today to help seize this moment and the momentum that we have had. We have done so much, but if we do it right, this has been only the beginning. All we've done so far can just be the prelude, the preface to what can come next. Our dreams can lead us to treasure. I don't mean the money that the campaigns need to succeed. That's a different kind of treasure, and it is important. But the real treasure is what we find if we succeed. What we can do together if we invest in our values and our community. The treasure is the fruits that this community will bear. That's what we're here to dream about together. And if we trust those dreams, if we journey together, this is what these campaigns attempt to do. To harness the possibilities and offer the chance for them to come to life for this congregation. On one hand, there is the annual stewardship campaign, one, and the other, the capital campaign. Two separate but complementary campaigns that help us move into our future. Now, there are those of us who have been at Fourth Universalist for a very long time. And for those of us who are like that, it's hard to believe that the capital campaign is finally here. It feels like we've been talking about raising money to save our roof for many years, planned for it, worried about it. And it has been many, many years. Even for me, as a relative newcomer, it feels big. I remember back in the spring of 2016 being at a clergy gathering in the Midwest. This was before I was your minister, and I was talking to a colleague who knew that I was in search for a new congregation. He asked me how that was going, where I was looking, and I shared that I was enjoying it. I was interviewing with congregations all over the country. One in Southern California, one in Dallas, one in Kansas City, even in British Columbia, Canada. And then I mentioned that I was also looking in New York City, in Manhattan, at this place called the Fourth Universalist Society. And he replied very casually, "Oh yeah, I know that church. They're the ones with the terrible roof." Now, I don't know how he knew, but that's how dominant this roof has been in our lives, not just for this congregation, but even for random ministers across the country. Even they have heard of this roof. And that's partially because this roof has been literally in danger of falling in on us. One more winter, we've been told by our architects, and the building might not survive. The good news is that the Landmark Preservation Campaign, what we call the Capital Campaign, is finally here. And we are almost to its end. If all goes well, we can begin work in the spring. We have been incredibly fortunate. Our goal is to reach $1.5 million, roughly the cost of replacing this roof and working on the tower. Our campaign team has been working tirelessly. Through the generosity of neighbors in our community next door who love our building and love what we've done in the world. We have raised over $500,000. These neighbors have been amazing. Some of them have even joined us here today, and we are so glad that you are here. We've raised another $500,000 from the state of New York when they awarded us their largest preservation grant, effectively naming our building as one of the top preservation priorities in the state. And even beyond that, 7 members of Fourth Universalist have already pledged their support, a loan totaling more than $200,000. That puts us past $1.2 million. We are almost there. So now we turn to you, the congregation who love this building, who care about this congregation and all that it does for us and the world. And we ask that you consider a gift to this campaign. We ask you to consider a stretch gift, a gift that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. A good place to start would be to think about your annual pledge. And a capital campaign gift would be about 3 times that amount. We need your help to make sure this building lasts and our spiritual home remains intact. But we also need your help, not just for this building, not just for this roof, but because once all of that is done, so many things become possible. Ever since I've arrived here at Fourth Universalist, one of the metaphors that keeps coming back to me again and again is that the roof is like a huge mountain. It is massive, it is foreboding, it is intimidating, and it is so big that it obscures everything else. We can't see past it or look around it, and it blocks our view of whatever else is or could be. What our congregation might do if that mountain wasn't there. It's an anchor that keeps us from moving on. Giving to the capital campaign is like taking a sledgehammer to that mountain. It's like pushing it away and opening up worlds that we haven't been able to see. It lets us see what is beyond it, opens up our vision, and lets us dream in ways we haven't been able to. We can discover that beyond it, there are beautiful pastures and fields and forests that reveal whole new worlds. Now, this is not just flowery language. It's not just a metaphor, because it is true in deeply concrete ways. If we make our capital campaign goal of $1.5 million, we will be able to free up $100,000 in our annual budget. That's more than my old congregation almost had for their whole budget. Most of our congregations in our denomination would be happy to have that for their whole budget. Right now it's there, scheduled for roof repair and loan repayment. And if we succeed, we can have that for anything we want. It is so much money. And this is where the second campaign comes in. Giving to the capital campaign is like the act of moving and shattering the mountain. It is a one-time effort. The roof, once done, will last 100 years. If all goes well, no one alive today will ever have to say the word roof again in this congregation. We will banish it from our vocabulary. The other campaign, though, is one we do every year, the annual stewardship campaign. It supports the annual budget, which lets us do and grow the actual work of the congregation. All those things that we believe in when we talk about putting our values into practice, to try to change the world, change our lives, raise our children, make friends, build community. The annual stewardship campaign funds all of that work. And your generosity has been tremendous over the last few years. You might be surprised to know that pledges from the congregation have almost doubled. It's let us hire wonderful new religious education staff who you saw leading us in a time for all ages. It's let us recruit and keep top-tier senior staff, like our music director, to keep them from being recruited full-time permanently away from us. We were able to do these things because many of you have heeded our invitation to try and pledge 5% of your annual income to the congregation. It's what our denomination recommends, and that increase in giving has made a tremendous difference. The annual stewardship campaign is our opportunity to plant and grow seeds in the pastures, fields, and forests that are waiting for us once this mountain is out of the way. It's giving so that the congregation can do its real work, its mission and ministry. This year, if both our campaigns succeed, we can do amazing things. If we meet our goal, if we free up $100,000 from the capital campaign and are able to grow our annual stewardship campaign giving, the possibilities are really hard to comprehend. I see us hiring a new social justice staff person to put our words into actions in ways we haven't been able to do before. I see us expanding adult education and programs so that we can truly deepen our spiritual lives together and grow and learn and develop. I see us beefing up our membership coordinator position to make sure that we are as welcoming and hospitable as we can possibly be, so that no one walks into our space and feels like there is no one there to greet them in coffee hour or before service. And I see us finally being able to restore this beautiful building, not just replace the roof, but turn this building back to what it used to be. When it was built in 1897, this building shined. Imagine a world where the walls were painted once again, where we didn't have curtains that blocked God knows what, but the building was so beautiful that nothing had to be hidden. Imagine it shining with love and uplifting everyone who walked in. No longer would we be a scrappy congregation, but one emanating with beauty and warmth. The great truth that we face here today is true also with the rabbi's dream. The treasure that he sought was with him all along. We have all that we need right here. The ingredients are here, the seeds are here, to make Fourth Universalist the place we dream of, the place the world needs us to be. That if we go on this journey together, if we can make the treasure real, we can transform this place. So today, dream big. Think of the treasures that await us if we let ourselves believe in what could be. Imagine a congregation in 5 years that is a powerful center for justice and activism, of spiritual growth and profound wisdom, packed with members and friends and children, all passionate and energized by our mission of love and hope and change. Imagine a congregation that is packed all nights of the week with programs and classes and opportunities to connect and deepen and grow and build a beloved community, no matter who you are or what you need for your life. Imagine a space so packed with people that the chairs go all the way to the back, the aisles are removed, we pack people into the sides, because Fourth Universalist speaks to people's needs and is able to offer and speak to the needs of our changing world and the hearts of each person in the room. Imagine gathering in a building so beautifully restored that it shines and welcomes everyone. Friends, join us in saving this building, because we know the world needs more beautiful places. Join us in moving this mountain, because once it is gone, the whole world opens up. The dreams can become a reality. And then remember that these 2 campaigns that we start today, they can lead us there. The treasures we dream of, the promise of what can be. We can do all of that with your help, with your gifts, your contributions, your hearts. I can't wait to get started with you to make all of this happen. Friends, we are finally here. Let's do it together. Amen.